Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.
We're not qualified.
Explorers in the further regions of experience.
Did you not listen? Then the hell with you.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 155th episode of Screaming Into the Void, the show where we talk about whatever the hell we feel like. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and we've got a few people with us here today. Welcome back to the show. Hasn't been here in a minute. Devil made me do it.
Hello, happy to be here. Hopefully I remember how to do this.
Right. We also have Caucasian Sasquatch.
No, master, don't beat me anymore. I've arrived.
Okay. Abe,
Mhm.
introduce yourself so we can wash the taste of that out of our mouths.
Yeah, I just came too.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, I'm good, man. What's going on?
Not so much. So, we were initially supposed to have a guest today, a guest who's not like somebody we already know, and that ended up getting pushed. We're going to reschedule that for a future date. It's not set yet, but family stuff comes up. You got to deal with family stuff, so no worries there.
Yeah.
And all that. So, but we still are having a show today. So you know, if you're not here watching this, you should be. We are live currently on Twix, YouTube, and Rumble, and in two places on YouTube: Caucasian Sasquatch and Samuel the Infamous. If you're in any of those places, please do drop a comment so that we see you. Also, you'll notice the Cash App link is pinned to the top. Money me, money now. And same thing for Sasquatch over in his channel.
It will be in a minute.
I just assumed you already had it up there, man. I thought you were
Yeah,
ready
I'm
to go.
slipping. You're slipping. I'm sorry. I
Yeah, you're
apologize.
slipping, man.
God damn it.
The grift is not strong with you today.
Right? I was getting on me about my grifting.
I'll pay you to grift. Shut the fuck up.
True. He does pay me to grift.
You take that shit to somebody else.
Yeah.
A little whorish, our relationship.
Dance, Bucky, dance.
I wish I had like a calliope or like an organ grinder or something. Like a
Dude, I got you. Hold up. I got you. I hope I got you. I hope
One of those little hats, the little fezzes.
right.
What are the humans doing?
Nice. Oh shit, this is a whole presentation.
Oh, it always is with him.
I put that together for the YouTube slave class that just never got teeth, never got legs, just didn't happen.
Yeah.
So before we get too much further, we're going to say hello to the chat. Everybody in chat, hello. We've got Scotty Waddles. Howdy. Midlife Bro Logic. Good to see you, brother. We've got Ardent Party. Hello, my man. What in the name of God's great golden galvanized gonads is going on here? That's a lot of alliteration.
It's good though.
Good at this.
Nice.
We've got Beak. Good to see you, my man.
A beak.
Holy Skunk.
Hello, Holy Skunk. Welcome to the chat.
I'm gonna just let that
Yeah. That's exactly.
simmer a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We got Zillage. Oh man. Yeah, and I think I see Plasma Void. Welcome in. Welcome in. So as you guys come in, we will try and bring up at least one of your chats so that we acknowledge your presence and all that stuff. Meantime, if you're not familiar with the show, this is how it goes. We usually start on a topic and we see where it goes, and sometimes it gets to some really aggressively homoerotic places. So
Oh,
Happens.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
you know, sometimes it doesn't. You know.
Let me wipe you off a place to sit.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's nice and dry so it soaks in real good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyhow, welcome to the show, everybody. So, we may or may not have other people dropping in. We will see what goes on, what happens, what have you, that sort of thing. Hi, Mr. Hectic. Welcome in. And yeah, it is what it is. It's that kind of show. We discuss things, and sometimes we get silly. And sometimes we get mad and then we get silly again. It's a whole thing. It's like a show. But unlike something that was brought up last while we were backstage, which we're gonna, I think, start with actually today. Unlike the Penalverse, right? We have conversations where we can disagree with each other and still be friends.
Yeah.
You're muted, Sasquatch.
Oh no, honey! I promise it was a man I was talking to.
Okay. I don't see how that makes it better.
Okay, I don't either, but she went away.
So,
It was a man who was masking.
So there's been a rise on the interwebs. Used to be like just called debate bro shit or internet blood sports or whatever. And now I guess the official term is panelverse now for people who have debates and not conversations, which are two separate fucking ideas.
Yeah.
Right. Because debates are not about like, actually changing minds. They're about dunking and scoring points on the other guy. It's completely pointless and it serves no purpose besides entertainment. And even then, I think there are probably more entertaining things out there.
As a caveat, most of the things you see on YouTube that are labeled debates are just glorified arguments. What up, Joe?
Yeah.
Cool.
Very true. Very true.
Yo.
What's up, guys? Welcome in. And yeah, like I don't have an issue with like discussing the thing and both sides retain their opinions and don't come to a consensus. That's not a problem. My problem with Panelverse shit is that it's mostly just people screaming over each other and
Yeah.
There's no conversation had.
It's almost like it's the kind of thing where one party is rooted in their own ideological belief, and then another party is rooted in a different one, and they've got no interest in changing each other's minds or finding out the actual truth of a situation. They've decided what is true.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And like for my money, right, if you're gonna if the whole point is to make the other guy cry and rage quit, right? Well, I don't understand why you don't just get in a ring and put some gloves on.
Yeah.
And some of these conversations go directly in that direction. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's just like I saw a clip the other day. Our buddy Truism the Stormcrow also has a channel here on YouTube, and I do believe his link is in the description below. Because he's on the show sometimes. He was talking about the Panelverse on his show Thursday night. Specifically Andrew Wilson, but the Panelverse in general, but specifically Andrew Wilson. And he kept showing these clips from a specific quote unquote debate that happened over on whatever podcast, where Andrew sits across from this large woman. And I don't even remember what it was they were supposed to be debating about. I just know that she got all fucking pissy with him over some trivial shit and left. And he's sitting there. He's like, "Oh, I made you cry," as they do. And I'm like, what was the point of any of this shit? It's like, first of all, whatever is trash TV, right? Brian knows what he's doing. Everything he does is exploitative, right? He knows damn well what he's doing, and what he's doing is fucked up, right? It's Jerry Springer, but without the class.
Yeah.
garbage television. Yeah, it can be entertaining. Beyond that, I don't see any worth to it.
All right. So to
Yeah.
make the distinction more clear, to debate is a political act almost exclusively.
Mhm.
It's very rare that you come across any type of debate setup that has to do with anything other than politics. To argue can be political, but you can argue about anything. And that's
Yeah,
why these
yeah.
things, they skew off and don't mean anything. It's just wind blowing through a knothole in a forest and no one cares.
Sure.
We've demonstrated that quite persistently on the pub.
The debate over biscuits and gravy has been intense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Burgers
Okay.
and sandwiches.
Biscuits and
Today-
gravy. Southern
today we
tradition.
did-
You need to be careful with where you go on this very next statement.
It's always
Go
food.
after him.
It's always
He's
food.
the one who calls it. What were you said about biscuits and gravy, Abe?
Oh, wow, let's not start this.
Oh,
again.
yeah, let's not do it here.
So, Ardent Party, no, not Gorlock. Gorlock is a dude. I would not call him a woman.
No.
Mm. Is it human?
It's a dude.
For being generous.
Of what
be generous,
species?
Generous.
That looks-
Abe.
That looks like an orc.
Yeah,
Damn
orcs
it.
are dudes. Can be dudes. Orcs got dude parts.
Yeah,
Somewhere under all that fat.
somewhere.
So
She's
yeah,
a 10. What are you talking about?
maybe a 10 on the Richter
Like
scale.
we-
Sure. it's a big dude.
Nice.
Anyhow, but yeah, Sasquatch, I think you were the one brought up backstage, just like what is your attract? Because I know you're involved with it to a certain extent, like particularly over in the Raging Tomato.
Yeah. A little bit.
So, like, what is it about this that attracts you?
All right. I'm there the same reason I'm here. She came on the show. We did a show. She occasionally sends me a link, invites me in. Sometimes she sends me money to get rum before I come in. So I think what I am is a well-placed landmine to trip up certain things that can sometimes happen during a broadcast. And if she expects certain types of trouble, maybe she'll invite me. Something, I don't know exactly. But I go in there specifically because the amount of the breadth of belief that's in that chat is astounding. There are some people out there who are hardcore young earth Christian scientists, and they're arguing with people in chat about orthodoxy, and right next to them is an atheist that believes the aliens built the pyramids, and right next to that is a flat earther who says that, you know what I mean? Like, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though, is like I see that kind of thing like on your channel as well. I've seen it on Powder Dusty's channel. I've seen it on my channel, where it's more of a discussion than it is a verbal, like, I don't know, firefight is the word that's coming to mind.
Well, she does pair her she does try to pair her opponents to be as dynamic as possible, right? Like I did a debate about immigration optics, because I'm not discussing whether that whole thing is correct or not. I'm discussing the optics that were put forth at the time, and my position was that not only are the optics severe, but they pay off for being severe, because they are severe. And the reason they pay off is because people who were thinking about trying to illegally immigrate to the United States call their freaking people back and say, hey, maybe not this term, maybe next term.
Yeah, old Blighty brings up a point. You need context and a goal to be able to debate, and I think that's something that's lacking in a lot of the Panelverse kind of stuff, right? Like they go in, they're given a premise or whatever, but the only goal that I see is to beat the other guy until he cries.
So the debate that I did, I lost. I was in front of 7,000 people, and lost 3 subscribers.
Mhm.
And I was told specifically that the reason I lost 3 subscribers is it looked like I was beating up on 2 retarded women. That's what they told me. And all I was doing was standing on the point that the optics are the point, and the point is to stop illegal immigration. And if you can stop it while they're still sitting at home watching it on Twitter, you don't have to stop it at the border, and you don't have to catch them after they get in. You can just nip it right in the bud right there.
Well, the retarded part's kind of not necessary. They're just women. It covers.
They made it very clear that these were not just women. Because I made that very point. I was like, no, I know both these girls. They're fairly intelligent. And he was like, man, I don't know, man.
And that's the basis of Devil's entire Make Me a Sandwich show.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it is. The
Are they
retard is
retarded?
redundant.
Well,
the
they're
retarded
women.
is redundant.
I tend to err on the
God
side
damn it.
that humans are retarded. I don't really make the distinction aside from when it comes to getting funky, you know.
I don't trust anyone until I get to know them, which means I don't trust anyone. I trust people to be themselves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't trusted anyone since Austin 316.
Damn.
I'll never forgive you.
God damn it.
I mean, you know, it's healthy not to trust strangers, I think. But you know, there's a lot of unhealthy, you know, distrust out there, including on my part. You know, like I don't trust hardly anyone. You know, I might get along with you, I might be friends with you and all that, but there's a deep-seated part of me that is very distrustful of all things that walk about bipedally and think that they're sentient. You know, you know, and it's not personal, right? I mean, obviously there's a level of trust I extend to people I know better than others, but it's not total. It's certainly not total. Like I saw this thing the other day where I think it was Derek Evans posted, and he said, name a celebrity you would trust to babysit your kids. And my response was, name one you would trust. You know, is there one? It's a shorter list. You know, because I don't fucking trust anybody, especially not people who come from a world where exploitation and abuse are the 100% norm, right? I don't trust my ex fucking wife with my kids.
Yeah.
You know, and I made them with her.
You can trust Terrence Hill. Terrence Hill was an absolute unit. He was a legitimate cowboy who filmed cowboy movies. He was a legitimate crack shot, a legitimate trick shot, a legitimate horseman. The man would wake up at 4:00 in the morning and cook an entire breakfast for the crew before they woke up because of 2 things. One, everybody needs a good breakfast, and he was just going to run 18 miles anyway.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right? And this dude
sounds like an absolute unit.
Yeah, absolute unit. There's a scene, I can't remember which movie it's in. It's I think it's in Trinity Is Still My Name, I think. Or They Call Me Trinity. Anyway, there's a scene where he walks into a bar, drops like $20 on the counter, grabs an entire bottle of booze and a big, huge, hot, heaping pan of baked beans. And he sets them down on the table and eats the entire thing in a complete uncut shot and drinks the entire bottle of booze, sets it down and burps, and then does the rest of the scene that they were actually there to do. It's like 2 pounds of beans in that pan. That pan was supposed to serve like 30 people. And he sat down and ate it. And it's on film. You can go look at it, watch it happen. Every now and then he reaches over, bumps and burps. The man was an absolute unit. And he didn't drink. He didn't do parties after 9. He didn't, hell, he almost never drove because he'd rather ride a horse. So imagine seeing one of the biggest Western stars in history, riding along Sunset Boulevard on his horse, just hanging out. Absolute unit.
That's crazy.
I don't know, man. I
Check
probably
him
still
out.
wouldn't trust him.
He's amazing.
There
No,
are
dude,
days I don't
that's
trust
one
me.
man I would trust.
You know?
Go ahead. Don't trust anybody. You're good. Back on point, man. Cthulhu.
So, I mean, there are days where I wake up and I'm like, you know what? I might be a shady fucker today. I don't know. I can't trust that I'm going to be on a level with myself.
Somebody's ass.
I can't trust the man in the mirror yet.
What was it my pops used to tell me? I'm so dangerous, I have to hold a pistol to my head when I'm shaving.
Right.
I can't resist it.
So
we have the Erinator.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad for you. I can't say the same all the time. I'm very
parts
glad.
of me.
Right?
There's some
yeah, so some parts of me they're iffy. Some parts of me are iffy.
What up, Andrew? Welcome in, bud.
I trust that my penis will make the wrong choice most of the time.
Right.
But let's be honest. Is it really the wrong choice?
It has been a few times, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think with a little brain for a minute.
He's enthusiastic, but he is an idiot.
That's brilliant. I gotta remember that.
So it just is what it is. But getting back to the debate bro thing, like I would have thought anyway, like because Devil, you've been around the internet long enough, you remember like the old Bloodsport days.
Oh yeah. Right. Back during the shitlord days when it was just straight blood sports.
Yeah, and I kind of thought when those days fell off that it kind of wouldn't necessarily have found a new niche with people who look more respectable but really aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because at those back during that time period, the ones who wanted to debate were the at the time the skeptic community. Like I said, we called ourselves shitlords essentially. But they wanted to debate, and then that changed over to the other side. They wanted to debate more, not because they were going to win and all, but more because they wanted to get the clicks from it. And now it seems like it's going back the other way. It kind of just keeps shifting back and forth who wants to actually have a conversation or instigate these things. But yeah, it's been.
I want to address something in chat. What was it? Homie said it was funny though. Blood sports. It was funny though. It wasn't supposed to be funny. They were serious. I mean, some of those folks were up there trolling, but overall, back in the day, these people were dead serious that they were going to get across to some amount of the audience. They were going to convert some portion of the viewership to their side.
Yeah. Yeah, because you thought that if you just common sense and if you presented the facts, it would, people would say, "Oh, okay, I get it." Very rarely does that happen.
Not a thing. It turns out that the more set in an ideal someone is, the more likely they are to disregard direct evidence. So saith Saint Yuri Bezmenov.
Well, this is true in a number of different ways too. Like, so I was watching this fictional show the other day, and I'm probably not going to finish it. It's called Leverage. It's the spin-off reboot, fucking revival of the old Leverage show, except that they got rid of Nate Ford because
they made it a woman gay.
Yeah, they did, and like parts of it are still enjoyable, but parts of it are just like, okay, now I feel like I'm watching a fucking pantomime of the old show. Right. But there was one particular moment in one episode where these thugs were going around trying to convince people their houses were haunted so that they'd sell. Right. Which on the surface, like in New Orleans, that I mean, that scam could probably work, but but they were doing this, and this chick had been convinced that there really was something going on and all that, and she couldn't be shown that these guys were scamming her. They showed her all the proof. They showed the little speakers they laid up around their houses. They showed them, all the little things that they did to kind of like, get her primed to believe that there was the spirit of her dead aunt or whatever was fucking with her. And all it did was kind of drive her into this shell where she's like, no, you guys are wrong. She's definitely here. Like it's exactly what you're talking about there, Sasquatch. It's that, like, it doesn't matter how much evidence you lay out. In fact, the more evidence you lay out, it just reinforces something that they believed already, whether that belief is nonsense or not. It's it's a weird little thing in the human brain.
Right. The thing about that whole process of reaching that level of call it conceit, maybe, involves dehumanizing anyone who doesn't think like you, assuming that the differences of opinion are based in lack of actual education, and then call everyone racist and a troll, and you win.
Yeah. I hate that. That's calling people racist, sexist, bigot, whatever the is that they want to throw out there. That's not that's a conversation killer. Whatever you're doing,
it's a totally
if you're
simplistic mindset.
Yeah, it ruins it.
There's a recent interview thing. It was 10 black conservatives plus one against one radical leftist, I think, something like that. And this person sat in a circle of people hearing literal facts spit at her and simply refused to believe any of it, would not accept a dissenting opinion at all. She just basically screamed everyone down and called them thick.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's all she did. She completely lost every aspect of credibility in that and doesn't care because it gave her brownie points with her deranged left-wing radical friends.
Jubilee, right? Isn't that the people who put it on? Yeah. She was
Jubilee,
she was on she used to be on like the BET version of The View, and she was so radical they kicked her off of that. And yeah, there's this kid who was sitting there, and he says, tells her, straight up the facts and stuff, and she just sits there and says, "You've been educated wrong. You've been taught wrong." And it's all like, did you ever think maybe you're the one who's wrong here? You're not reciting anything that backs up your argument. He's giving you numbers. He's giving you stuff. Yeah, it was pretty funny to watch that. I only watched clips though, but.
Well, I went and found the whole thing, and I sat down with Captain Curmudgeon and was trying to convince him to work with me on coming up with the oppositional, cutting all of her out and using just her responses, but then being the white guy in the 20 black conservatives, like these two white guys over here going, "Yeah, you tell them." Or and of course, Captain Curmudgeon being a history buff, he was like, "Well, no, you could actually bring facts and put everything." Dude, I'm going to make this bitch look like a fool. What are you going to do? Defend your position? That's already been done. Those ladies and gentlemen did an absolutely immaculate job of wiping the floor with her.
Yeah, I don't know.
I agree with Erin. Jubilee is terrible. One of the funniest ones, though. One of the funniest ones is the girl who just believes she's the smartest woman on earth. And then she denigrates someone who she deems to be a redneck. And she had the lowest IQ of the entire group.
Oh, yeah.
Was that amazing?
Who went to college and who has the highest IQ thing, and they all had to rank each other and shit. And the one who was just like, well, I do all this work for this big old left wing thing, and so I've got all these degrees in things that nobody gives a fuck about, doesn't really pay for.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, and this guy, I mean, he's he's right wing, he's a Marine, he's a redneck, you know, he's blue collar. What does he know about anything? And he came on there and just fucking shut them all down. And he did, and the best part was is he did it fucking politely. He didn't disrespect a single fucking person while he was there.
Yeah, he maintained his humility throughout. Something she apparently had never even heard of.
Right.
Ironically.
So she's like, well, I just think this test is skewed, you know, like that.
Yeah.
That's how she kind of came out. It was like, you got the same shit that he did, man.
Yeah. And socialism's never been tried.
So this is a distinction that seems to be lost anywhere left of center. There is a difference between intelligence and education.
Mm-hmm.
These are not related except possibly like tangentially. The smartest man I know dropped out when he was in like 9th grade. He just went and got a job. He's retired, got a big ass house, and brilliant. He's probably been investing and stuff if I had to guess, but it's also possible that he just sat in his garage and made a bunch of flies. I'm not sure which way that went.
Yeah, that's the thing is this, our society has been built that if you go to college, somehow that's proof of intelligence. That's not true. Some of the stupidest people I know went to college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
College
College makes you dumber nowadays.
Well, it teaches you not to think. It teaches you to accept a higher authority and to what's that term? To subvert to higher authority, to just allow some statistician or some study that you found be your thought process on a given topic.
Right. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's 100%. You know, people who want to learn, right, never stop learning. It doesn't matter if you're going to a fucking 4-year college or if you're just reading at your local library. You never stop learning. The only difference is that the 4-year college gives you a piece of paper that tells everybody else you legitimately learned a thing. That's it. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Yep. But if all you learn is the ability to regurgitate information requested by a sheet of paper or a computer, how is that critical thought?
It isn't. Which is why I would take the guy who's just spending his Saturday afternoons at the library, just reading whatever he can get his hands on.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick shout out to Smooth the DJ who's in the chat, and also to Stasis Geek who's lurking.
Hi, Stasis Geek. I don't see you.
Hi.
Yeah, he's right at the very beginning of the chat.
Oh, okay, I missed it. Sorry, I do miss things sometimes, especially when I start waving my hands, because you guys might not know this about me on account of, you know, my sexy avatar covering my face all the damn time, but I do talk with my hands animatedly. And it leads me to look at things other than the screen while I'm making a point, and so I do sometimes miss things in the chat.
Yeah, when you're actually talking to Sam and you can see him and shit, it looks like he's throwing up gang signs.
Sometimes I am.
Those are spells these people do. They just let you do that to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, look, man, I grew up where I grew up at. Like it was a handful of kids like me, and the rest of them were fucking gangbangers, right? I'm like my dad. So my dad, right? Back in the 70s,
hold on, were the gangbangs any good?
Not that kind of gangbanging.
I like it.
So my dad back in the 70s got involved with some very, very shady groups of people, mostly biker gangs, like you know, the Sons of Silence, the Hells Angels, that sort of thing, and got involved with some of the drug game and all that stuff. And he was one of those guys who was kind of friends with all the rivals because he didn't belong to any one of them, and he didn't fuck anybody over. Right. And I kind of filled that niche myself, but with like Mexican street gangs.
Yeah.
so yeah, I could get away with some shit that most people can't. You know? But it is what it is.
I want to see Sam white as hell walk over and Odelay. What's up, SA?
Hey, Holmes.
Oh wait, I just realized what you were
dunno.
trying to say. Orale!
Yeah. Yeah, it just sounds like a D. They're rolling an R.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, delay.
I'm
Hey,
white.
Odelay.
I have no problem fucking up a language I don't give a shit about.
But nah, it's life has taken some strange twists and turns for me. I ended up in some weird places. At one point, I knew this kid. This is totally off of any fucking topic. It just popped into my head. I knew this kid years ago who so I got this tattoo. I have a couple of tattoos on. The first one I ever got was done by a drunk Mexican in a basement with a homemade needle. Right. And I was drunk.
Were you high by any chance? Yeah.
Very drunk.
Yeah. Okay.
And all I paid was a drawing for it. He wanted dude's nickname was Troll. He wanted to put a troll on his neck, so I drew him a troll, and that's what it cost me to get this tattoo. And back then I was doing a lot more drawing and shit. Anyway, the kid who introduced me to him was a little younger than I was at the time, and he had already gotten a couple of little tattoos and stuff. And on one hand, on his right hand, like right above the web, in the meaty flesh, right above the web between the thumb and the index finger, right, he got those little 3 dots y'all might be familiar with if you hang around gangbangers at any point, right? Right next to it, he got an iron cross because he thought it looked cool. Which is, I mean, it's fine. You can like iron crosses and all that, but maybe don't put 2 conflicting symbols from 2 ideologies that fucking hate each other right next to each other on your flesh.
Yeah.
Unless you are absolute freaking badass, bro.
Right. And he wasn't. He was a skinny little fucking twerp.
Give him time. Walking around with that, he will either die or be a badass.
I haven't seen the guy in like 25 years. I don't know if he's even alive.
25 to life, maybe.
I've moved a few times. He could have gone to prison. I don't know.
Smooth put Sam is secretly the biggest cholo.
I can't be a cholo because I wear my pants where it's supposed to be.
Oh, get you and having a belt.
Yes, I do own a belt. And you know why I own a belt? Because it turns out when you wear your pants around your fucking ankles, you can't hop a fence when you got to run.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's completely counterproductive to wear your pants like that. It's like,
absolutely.
If you are wearing your entire net worth, it's really hard to run.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to mess up anything or lose anything. And so you're having to constantly, nah. Give me a t-shirt, pair of jogging pants, and some sneakers.
Plus all those gold just weighing you down.
Damn right. Nothing but the dope.
Yeah. No, I travel light, son. And I wear my pants where they're supposed to be so I can run when I need to.
Welcome to Crime 101 with Screaming Into the Void. This is how to avoid the authorities.
Sometimes you gotta run from dogs too, babe.
Join us next week.
Yeah.
We cover the fundamental pitfalls of dealing 201.
Right. Not trying hard enough. Look, Eddie, have you ever hopped a fence, Ariel? Because any loose clothing gets caught on like a fucking a large splinter or a nail or some shit like that. And you're not going
you do, sir. I can go over a fence, even a barbed wire fence, faster than you could cut through it, son.
I got a couple.
I don't care how high it is.
Yeah. I got cut up pretty bad going over a barbed wire fence when I was in like 7th grade.
When my truck got towed, it got towed to a place over here across town that I know the owner of and the driver and everybody that works there. And so I called up homie at home and I was like, hey, man, I need to get in my truck. He's like, dude, I'm fixing to eat. And I was like, well, I'm fixing to break into your joint and get into my truck. He's like, why are you telling me? Because if I get arrested, I want you to tell them that I am not trespassing, so they will have to let me go. He's like, okay. I get my wife to drive me over there, and I walk up to the fence, and she says, oh, no, how are you going to? And I landed on the other side. There are four things of barbed wire at the top, and the top is at a little bit of an angle. And she's like, How the hell did you do this? My pops was an airborne ranger. I could climb anything.
Right.
Go right over it, man, like I was born to do it.
I mean, honestly, barbed wire is a hell of a lot easier to deal with than razor wire. So
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't even try razor wire without like 2 blankets and some fucking welding gear.
And even then, like you could just throw a fucking flannel over barbed wire and you'll probably be okay. You might get a little poked, but if you try that shit with razor wire, not only will it cut whatever you threw over it open, it'll also slice you. Yeah, it's some.
You fuck around and slip and let that shit just anywhere. Your wrist, your arm, you just fall on it with your body weight. And
Yep.
What up, Zephyr?
What's up, buddy? So I still climb trees sometimes. You know what? I haven't done that in a fucking minute. Maybe I'll go climb a tree after this show. I don't know. That sounds like fun. Of course, I'm old and my fucking joints don't work properly anymore, so I'll probably die. So there might not be any more shows after this.
You haven't touched grass in 18 years. Why would you touch a fucking tree today? I mean, hell, why are you going to touch someone else's?
Man, I live in Wyoming. All we got is grass, and it's brown.
It's even worse, Lod. There's not the 3 trees in Wyoming, and not one of them's near you.
Brown grass?
Yeah, for right now in the area that I'm in, the season's been pretty wet. We've had a lot of rain, and so it's a lot greener than it normally is. But normally, it doesn't quite get all the way to green because it's pretty dry.
I need to go look up how much rain we've had over here in my little burg, because the last I heard was something like 700 inches or some shit.
What the fuck?
Dude, like I'm in a swamp. It floods here because somebody cut a weak fart, right?
I live in a high desert. We don't get rainfall like that.
Yeah, we do. I'm in a cloud forest. Like I'm borderline rainforest, right? So yeah, we get a shit ton, massive amount of rain, an unbelievable amount of rain. But this year, it has rained 3 times a day, every single day. If it didn't come in and just rain all day,
how come y'all aren't underwater?
We're in a swamp. It can't flood, but about 8 inches before it runs off the edge.
Fair enough.
Sasquatch has been drinking a lot, so.
I was gonna say
I have been
like
drinking
that.
a lot.
He's doing
Nice.
There's a place called Glendo that's just off I-25 in Wyoming, and there's kind of this big basin right outside of this tiny little town, right? And one year it rained so fucking much that basin became a new lake. You couldn't see the other side of it. What you could see were the tops of the trees that were in the area, barely poking out of the water.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this place looks like usually. But currently, the beaver, see, all of this is swamps because of beavers, right? And so when they just handle the flood control, we don't really have to do anything. Like if it's going to flood, they drain their dams. It sounds insane, but they know. And so we get a little flooding here and there, especially when all the beavers do it at the same time. That can be an issue.
Everything's just damp out there all the time, isn't it?
Oh yeah, dude, I've got mushrooms on my eyebrows. I've got a ringworm complaining about jock itch, and he just won't shut up.
For those of you who don't know what ringworm is, it's not a worm.
I'm just saying, bro. A little bit of talcum powder goes not so far here. It's not a long way. It now smells like rancid talcum powder and nuts.
Holy shit.
That's yes, that's correct, Naomi. It is a fungus. That is true. It's called ringworm because it leaves these kind of like ring looking marks on you. But yeah, it's not a worm. It's not that kind of parasite. It's not even an animal, or a plant for that matter.
It's as much an animal as it is a plant.
That's why it's got its own application, though.
It's basically an alien.
Yeah, no, fungus is amazing. When it comes down to it, it is a 5th completely unrelated kingdom. The nearest manageable DNA crossover from fungus to anything not fungus is like 65 trillion years ago or some shit. It's crazy
Yeah,
far
and I
back.
think those were like weird, like fucking moving trees and shit, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, they would like fall and regrow.
Yeah.
They fell towards food somehow.
Yeah.
I don't.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah. Well, they've been extinct forever. Like we don't have them anymore. But I hear the fungal growths were much larger on average back in the day, like fucking forest of like giant shroom heads and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Probably didn't
yeah.
look like shroom heads like we understand them today, but
No, they look like fantasy versions of them. They were
Trees.
gigantic. Yeah.
Actually, if you take a look
Mushroom
at
trees.
Star Wars material and you look at the planet of Felucia, it's largely based off of pre-plant life, pre-animal life, post-fungoid land stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because apparently, and I don't know how they know this, but I was reading a couple of weeks ago, insects not only crawled out on land, but also learned to fly before the next thing came along and crawled out on land. So the insects came out, and I don't think they were even actually insects at the time, but they're that's the closest thing I can point at and be like one of those, basically pill bugs. And they went from pill bugs to flying shit before the next fish came out.
right.
And that's all because of
Yeah.
fungus. And it became a self-serving cycle between fungus and early arachnid insect type creatures that later evolved into what we've got going on now. And it's wild.
Yeah.
The
that
fungus
might be
among
it.
us.
I don't know. I don't think it originated here. I think it came from somewhere else.
Okay, that's possible. I'll accept that
possible.
to an extent. I might even accept the possibility that fungus was the first thing that occurred beyond the eukaryote and stuff like that. That stuff was here, and then fungus landed, and plant and animal life evolved from it. That would almost make more sense than plant or animal life evolving into fungus.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that I don't necessarily like. I know that there are some correlation, some crossover. What appears to be, common ancestry, but like we were saying with these weird tree things from way back in the day, 65 plus million years ago. But I don't know that that's. I mean, I think that's probably more of a fluke or an anomaly or a crossover than it is an actual like common point of origin. I think that fungoids are other.
Mm-hmm.
Separate.
Well,
from
evolutionary repetition has been observed many times for species that are not directly related.
Convergent evolution? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's entirely possible.
I'll take it one step further too. I think fungoids are fucking evil.
They might be. They do live on death, specifically death, and only death ever. So keep that in mind when you're being such a fun guy.
Look, man, Alex Jones was right. The aliens are here, but he was wrong about one thing. They've always fucking been here, and they're on your pizza.
So
You
what you're
eat
saying
the
is
sacrifice.
so what you're saying is that Sasquatch's ringworm is like, we didn't land on Sasquatch. Sasquatch landed on us.
Yeah, he's the place.
I give it another 5 minutes though, and Sam will manage to turn this into. So you know those mushrooms? They're fucking evil. Do you know what else they birthed? Cats.
No, totally separate evils.
Separate evil.
And the video game Among Us, which
mushrooms are more of a more diabolical than evil, right? They don't so much perpetrate things as they take absolute advantage of every single niche that ever existed that could possibly ever result in death. They're just sitting there waiting for something to die.
Yeah, it's like naturally insidious.
Most of the time, yeah. I mean, there are outliers that are more aggressive. Cordyceps, for example, and its various offshoots. There's also a kind of fungus that traps and then slowly dissolves its prey.
Yes, the dissolving
hallucinate like a motherfucker, so it doesn't know it's being digested alive.
the fungus kills the cells that it wants to eat, which is not typically how a fungus functions in general, right?
Yeah,
But
it's much more predatory.
It's
Yeah.
insidious. Those are evil, yes.
Yeah. Totally
Right.
insidious.
So,
But naturally so. Just their nature.
but I you can't trust the myconoids, dude. You can't do it. Can't trust them. They ain't like us.
You
Hell, the plants can't fucking trust them. They ain't
You
like
ever
them
look
either.
at the myconoids in D&D?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, so I don't know who it was that wrote them up, but whoever it was a genius, because when you're reading the description, they're semi-intelligent, an intelligence of 5 or 4. You know, they're intelligent enough to be trained to respond to food, to be well trained, like a very well trained monkey or a slightly retarded person, right?
Mhm.
So they could do some fairly complicated stuff. And when you're reading it, you're like, man, these things would make the best slave race ever. You could just make them happy to do what they want to do by throwing them fucking dead shit, and it's fine. Until you get into the fine print over there and you find out that they emit this gas that makes you subservient to them. And while level and skill and magic and all kinds of other stuff can protect you from it, if that shit ever slips, even for a second, you're done. You just turn and walk over to the pile of bodies and lay down on top of the queen.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not
So
worth
Clue?
Right. And Clue brings up Last of Us. So Last of Us was based on the idea of the cordyceps, which, by the way, typically speaking, cordyceps almost exclusively go after arthropods, specifically insect and arachnid life.
Yeah.
That isn't to say that they're incapable. It's just their preferred food source, right? Typically, like ants, there are certain forms of cordyceps that go after spiders specifically, you know. But generally speaking, yeah. But Last of Us was based on the idea that if a fungus could worm its way into you and hollow you out and just sort of like take you over as an ambulatory shell, right? That was sort of the premise of that. I am, of course, speaking of the video game. I have not watched the TV show. I have not played the second video game, you know. So I don't know too much beyond that, aside from everybody tells me it's shit. So I don't know. But yeah, the whole premise of the original idea was the cordyceps fungus essentially becoming absurdly aggressive.
Yeah.
So
Entirely a possibility.
the thing is, in the way that occurred in the game is someone became, I don't even know how it started. I don't know enough about the game to tell you, but someone became infected with a new form of cordyceps that was functional on humans. They went through a period of confusion and basically hiding from light, where they went to moist, wet places to hide from the light, and it expanded from there because it was carried as spores on the wind, and very few people have any immunity to it, and treatment was very limited, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying, bro.
Yeah.
That's way scarier than smallpox.
Yeah.
Yeah, because smallpox,
It could be everywhere in no time.
eventually you'll stop kicking with smallpox, right? But with this stuff, it's going to kick for you.
Sorta. The thing is,
Yeah.
there are further problems with smallpox beyond just the scarring and the fevers and the killing people. The fevers cause mental problems, dude. Like, it's that kind of fever. And so children having smallpox and growing up as deranged adults is not helpful.
No.
That's true. But at least they're not fungus people masquerading as people.
At least they're feeling themselves. Good for them.
Look, crazy's bad any way you look at it, right? Especially in that context. But I will take a crazy person who is still a person over a crazy person who wants to put their spores in everything.
Yeah, a person who might be crazy over a zombie person.
Right.
Yeah.
I have an observation. It's slightly unrelated. It's tangential to crazy. But people were talking the other day. I overheard this conversation, and I had to butt in because I'm that type of asshole. But the discussion was, why are there so many random attacks on the street nowadays? And I just turned to look, and I was like, well, think of it this way. When I was a kid, we were taught to avoid strangers, and if you see somebody talking to themselves, to avoid them as well. Nowadays, everybody has a Bluetooth earbud, and you just ignore the fact that this deranged motherfucker screaming at God. You think he's talking to his ex-wife, and you walk right by him on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You endanger yourself because you have the self-protection instincts of a fart.
Mhm.
I mean, that's fairly true. I think of most people in the first world. You know?
Well, this is part of the larger issue of closing all of the asylums. You know,
Yes.
as soon as that ended, they were just let loose and technology evolved, and now everyone just sticks to themselves, and it gets crazier. And then it makes everyone else crazier.
So, yes.
Let's
Yes.
can we flip that on its head? What would it look like to re-implement an asylum system in the U.S.?
That depends on who's doing it, how they're doing it, who gets vetted to be in charge of these places, who takes care of the patients, who the patients actually are, what it takes to actually be committed to one of these places. There are a host of fucking things that have to be covered.
You make me hard when you get pedantic.
I know.
Oh yeah.
But look, the thing is the old asylum system, while it did keep some people from harming themselves and harming other people, sure, it also did a lot of harm to a lot of fucking people, right? Because it was not a perfect system,
Sure.
and half of it was
Given.
corrupt and run by fucking sadists.
Yeah.
We can't have that happen again if we're going to do it again. We can't.
Right. But,
Because
that was exactly the reason I brought this up, though. You're talking about a full-on socialized system that would have to be implemented top down. It's exactly the thing we freaking hate, and that's basically the only way to really do it.
I mean, yeah, it's essentially a choice. Do we want these people on the streets and in our politics, or do we want to lock them away in a system that they would fucking love?
There's another. That's another layer of it. Once such a system has started to be implemented, who determines who's crazy and who's not? Do we end up with a bunch of MAGA people off in some asylum in blue states and a bunch of Trump?
The biggest problem, right?
Yeah.
Whoever's in power gets
Not
to
even-
determine who it is.
Well, not even just that. Now, today in society, we're denying freaking mental illness. I mean, transgenderism is gender dysphoria is a mental illness, but we're told we can't say that no more. You can't even. So yeah, it's what are they going to actually classify as? You have all these kids on TikTok they're saying, I have multiple personalities. Watch. Oh, it's my defensive personality. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. So it's all kind of muddied the water of mental illness right now. I don't know.
It's like we're acting like it almost doesn't exist now, and that there's a justification for every bullshit reason someone comes out with for clout or to do something fucked up.
Yeah, well, that's the other problem, isn't it? Though, I mean, because you're absolutely right. There is a host of people out there who are wearing their fucking mental bullshit on their sleeve for all to see.
Yeah.
There are also a host of people out there getting that FOMO on real fucking hard who are not actually that fucked up in the head but don't want to be left out, who are making shit up, self-diagnosing, and telling everybody, oh, I've got this obscure thing that nobody's had since fucking 1862.
There's another aspect here, and I think you're all touching around the edges of it. But the way social media ties all of this together to give them the validation from beyond their own self that such things are possible, when people just blindly accept you at your word, that is wild. Especially on medical and mental problems, that is beyond wild.
Because nobody accepts anybody else on their word for anything else.
It's literally insane. Yeah,
I'm
crazy.
Absolutely convinced AIDS is a short, fat Asian dude.
Yeah, back in like back in what the 1500s, they were if you thought you were a fucking wolf, they, you know, that like legitimately that's where werewolf, like originally the idea of it came from, was these people who actually thought they were beasts and stuff. They have
The lore's a
records of
little
like
more
Syrians?
complicated than that, but yeah, I think you're talking
I've
about
seen that
Jean
on
Grenier,
TikTok.
right?
And-
the French dude who murdered a bunch of children and thought he was an actual wolf. He was put on trial in like the 1700s in France.
Yeah, and now they're called
Yeah.
furries. You know, like what is
Well,
mental illness? It's kind
So
of
there are furries with a
Nice.
sexual fetish, and is all the
Mhm.
things that are wrong with the entire world all put into one fucking bundle of nasty,
Into a furry suit.
sticky fur. And then there's lycanthropy, and I'm
wolf.
not talking about like Hollywood lycanthropy. There's an actual disorder called lycanthropy that fucks with the way your brain works. It also makes you sensitive to light, makes you grow a lot of fucking extra hair, and you are typically more comfortable moving around on all fours than you are on two legs, right? A lot of it's an extremely fucking rare disorder, but it does exist.
But then you compare that to your average Therian 12-year-old on TikTok with 2 million subscribers, and I don't know, man. She's making more than you are. Who's crazy?
That's
Just
the
saying,
thing.
bro. If the goal is
Touche.
to make
Only
money,
in America. Only
That's
in
a
America
big
can
fucking
you monetize
touche.
lunacy.
I have had to look at this really hard and debate exactly how much I want to get rich online, right?
Yeah.
Because there are lines my brain does not want me to cross until the check's big enough. See,
yeah.
I am a sellout. I'm just not cheap.
He's had to look really hard.
But at very least, you're honest, and that's what matters.
Yeah, until you pay me not to be, and there's enough zeros on that check.
Exactly, yeah.
My integrity.
Yeah, when I see you rocking around in a limo, I'm like, man, he sold out
You
on
want
every
to-
front. Fuck.
Was it like that? What's her name?
My
The little
biggest
little
goal
K
is
or
to
whatever.
blow up and act
the
like I don't know nobody.
Was it like that little Tay chick who just fucking
Oh,
did
God.
Oh,
this
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
day she turned 18, but wasn't actually, like, the pictures that she uploaded at midnight on her 18th birthday were taken before midnight on her 18th birthday. So if you out there, if you bought those fucking pictures, you're a goddamn pedophile. First of all. Secondly, she did, wasn't it like last year or some shit like that? Her parents helped her fake her death for clout.
She's not the only one. That Catch Me
Yeah, something like
Outside.
that,
How about
yeah.
that chick did the same thing? Her 18th
Yeah.
birthday, she got an OnlyFans and made $1
Yeah.
million or some shit.
Oh, she
Yeah,
made way more
But
than
like
that.
these kids, they're fucked up. They are, and their parents, I think, in a lot of ways, contributed to that. But I think
Absolutely. They're the
rather than-
architects of their supposed popularity.
rather than seeking course correction and if treatment if necessary when they were young, they just indulged them in the crazy.
Yeah.
And this is why you have litter boxes in schools that do not have cats as mascots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Zephyr
some
says
kind
the
of dipshits
sexist mule
podcast?
threw her off.
over on Rumble. Howdy. Welcome
Hey,
in.
what's up, bro? You're so long, so lonely.
So we don't get a lot of interaction on Rumble. Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, you're the one, literally.
So, but yeah, it's become fashionable to be fucked up.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? And I'm not talking like a counterculture kind of way, because it isn't counterculture. It's the culture. It's the mainstream now.
Yeah, it just keeps hopping. It's another fad type thing. Original, like when I was in high school, and a little bit after, it was gay. You had people saying they were bi or gay because it was hip to be, oh, I experiment. It's all, dude, I know you your whole life. You've never fucking even looked at a dude's ass. You're a fucking liar, right?
Yeah.
But now, and then it became the transgender thing. Oh, I'm non-binary. I'm this, because the victim points you get with it. And now it's gone to straight just mental illnesses.
So
What's next? Who knows?
I tell you what's next. You're watching it happen right now. You've heard of the fatigue
Mhm.
going on, where people are getting fatigued by certain types of activities and they're just not tolerating it anymore. Instead of indulging that trash, they just throw them the fuck out or whatever. You know, there is a descriptive that's attached to this that I don't think is even remotely related. They call it black fatigue, but that's not it at all. And I've mentioned this before. It's victimhood complex fatigue. It's all of these people trying to be a squeaky wheel all at the same time. And the based among us have decided we've had enough. The silent majority is about to move. And when it does, the earth itself will tremble.
The turtle moves.
Amazing.
The turtle moves.
The turtle moves. I think that's a great observation, though. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's totally on point. Yeah.
I've mentioned that a bunch, that whenever something pushes forward to if society's not ready for something and some sort of movement or something pushes forward too much, there's always a rubber band effect, and when it snaps back, it can be violent in its
too
correction.
far too quick.
Yeah.
Right?
And I've mentioned that a bunch of times. Sam's probably like, yeah, you said that. Shut up, devil.
No, I've said it myself. Look, the whole pendulum thing that they keep talking about, the political pendulum or the social pendulum or the, cultural pendulum or whatever, the pendulum never stops fucking swinging. Right. If you artificially, which has been done in the last like however many years, you artificially force the pendulum to swing so far in one direction, it is going to swing back twice or thrice as hard in the other direction, and it's going to fuck things up balance-wise for years and years to come.
It might swing back so hard, it'll come all the fucking way back round.
And then you get Nazis, right?
And that's the danger.
That's exactly the problem. What happens is if you push it far enough in one direction artificially, when it comes back, you end up in World War II.
Yeah.
All over again from the very beginning, because just like he said, they've never tried socialism before, not real socialism. Well, socialism, breeze fucking slide that leads straight into communism and nowhere else.
Look, folks, do you want Hitlers? Because this is how you get Hitlers.
We were talking about that just last night on the pub, that in Europe with this forced migration and this, your country being taken over and stuff, I said, when it snaps back, when you get a snapback and the Europeans finally get fed up with this shit, it's going to be get out of our country, and it's going to be a violent revolt. Because the governments are still backing this. The governments are still pushing that. Oh, you have to accept a mosque, being built where your kid's school is, and your children being victims and shit. Eventually, when it pops back, you're going to have people literally chasing these people out of those countries. It's going to be violent, and it's their own damn fault. It's the government's pushing this shit. It's fault if it gets violent.
So it's not all right. All right, there's too many issues really to lay at the feet of any one particular trigger point, right? In Scotland, it's the kids, man.
Oh yeah,
that's the problem. When you have a 12-year-old girl out there with a hatchet and a butcher's knife ready to lay down her life so her sister can run, that speaks to the inner core of every man who has a daughter. That should not happen. It should not have been a thing ever. That should have been a fake online prank that someone pulled, right? That should have been an artificial video. It should have been debunked after a couple of days, and everybody kind of chuckled and thought, think how crazy the world is. But it's real.
And like I said, it shows you the way the government is, because she's the one who was arrested. They don't get it. Yeah. They arrest that girl when, like you said, every single father saw that and went, oh my God, what country is my kid growing up in? That girl has to feel that way.
I agree with Old Blindy's comments here about, Abe may experience USA level freedom soon. We live in a small box and need a permission slip to leave his living box eating bugs.
100%.
And also long live St. George.
Real quick,
and Smoo is absolutely right.
He is, but well, I mean, but is he allowed to say that? He is in Germany.
Well, he's not talking about Germany. He's not talking about Germany, so it's fine.
Their laws are pretty fucking vague about what they can and can't say too.
Yeah,
No. He's completely off base. Maybe in Germany that might be the issue. But here, we have several tiers of manipulation with the government, from the people to the government, before we get to that whole revolution thing. Because I don't believe we have to have a revolution to end that we have to end the American experiment in order to rebuild the American experiment. I think the experiment was designed with enough freaking leeway that insane, crazy, radical nut jobs aren't going to be able to topple a rational system. No matter how many times they scream Democrat, Democrat, democracy, my democracy, your democracy, representational republic, if you can keep it.
Don't worry, Smoo. If they come for you, I'll adopt you. You can come over here and be Devil Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, also he says he's moving to the U.S. next 3 to 4 years. Doesn't give a shit. I mean, I just wanted to double check. Obviously, in my chat, y'all could say whatever the fuck you like, as far as I'm concerned, right? Anything that gets pulled or censored or whatever, as long as you're not directly attacking each other, I don't have an issue, right? And my mods don't pull shit down. So if something gets taken down, that was YouTube themselves. So.
Well, I don't know. If I see someone doxing someone else, I'll take that shit down.
Right. There, you don't want to do that. But as far as saying
otherwise,
fucking have at it. Don't try to fucking expose somebody or who's in the chat with you, or attack them personally, and that's fucked up. Shouldn't be doing that anyway. You wouldn't do that on the street. Why would you do that here?
So one of the issues with the whole revolution concept is the way the left and right, at least in America, are arranged. It's virtually impossible for there to be any significant leftist outbreak without government support. Just in the conversation. Furthermore, most of what do they call them? 80-20 issues that they have. Most of them are the type of issues that if you give it a single generation and don't let them take your children, it just dies out.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, look, let's actually get into that for a second, because we are seeing some positive stuff in the UK right now with the people, mind you, not the government. The government still fucking blows ass. People with I'm seeing a bunch of shit, a bunch of solidarity. People are raising the St. George flag for England in fucking Ireland.
Yeah.
Right. In Scotland, in Wales, in the the US, in Canada, in fucking New Zealand and Australia, like all these places are saying no, England for the English, and it's kind of awesome. Here's the thing: you can't let that momentum stop.
They've got a similar situation to what we have between left and right over here. Their immigrants are in the cities. They're not in the hinterlands. If the rednecks and homeboys of England were to just show up at a random city one day and lay them low, ain't a damn thing nobody but the government can do about it. And maybe not them.
It's similar, but there is still a lot of the immigrants are settling in those small towns and taking them over. That's one thing Kenzo will talk about. He'll talk about how where he grew up the same place Tommy Robinson did. In fact, I think he knows him. Yeah, Loon. And he says Loon.
Yeah, they were old school friends.
Yeah, he said, those small towns, some of them they're completely taken over, and they force the native people out of there. They'll sit there and scare them to sell their house by intimidating them, so that they can have entire swaths that are nothing but whatever country they're from to take over. It's crazy what's happening there.
It's wild.
It's about fucking time, honestly. It's about fucking time, dude.
Facts.
Your government, and you know this, Abe. I'm not speaking at you specifically. You understand? But, your government sold their fucking soul to Davos decades ago, right?
Yes,
decades ago. Even the royal, there's a picture from 1978 where Charles, who was then just Prince, is standing there shaking hands with Klaus fucking Schwab at one of the initial meetings of the WEF, right?
Yeah.
They sold their fucking souls to Davos. Your government is not your government. Your government is a puppet of an unelected organization.
It's their government
in another country.
Well, it was that way with the European Union too. The
100%.
European Union has
Yes.
power over all these countries, even though they're not elected by the people of that country, but yet they
Same
can make
people in
rules
charge.
for you. Yeah,
Same
it's
people in charge because who do you
this
think's behind the EU?
this is something that I really hated about the whole Brexit debate, right? So I wanted us to leave the European Union, and one of the most retarded arguments I'd ever heard was, "Oh, well, what if we are at the whim of our own government?"
Mhm.
Well, maybe we should be, because we can do something about them.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
you get rid of one threat and then you move on to the next. You don't just fucking stop there.
Right. So here's the thing. I think the solution is relatively simple, right? A bunch of English colonies once did it very successfully before, when the government wasn't was doing government things that weren't aligning with the colony. Colony stood up and
Lads.
said, "Yeah, no more." And you know what? It could happen again.
Lads, come home. We need your help.
Yeah.
We fucking need your help. And come armed to the fucking teeth.
Dude, I don't leave the house unless I'm armed to the fucking teeth.
Yeah.
All you
I'm
have to do is flatter Trump a couple times, and yeah, he'll be on board.
It's like there was a rally recently where Tommy Robinson was on stage and he showed a bunch of politicians from around the world, and it was like a picture of fucking Hillary and Pelosi and all this shit. They got booed to shit. They showed a picture of Trump, fucking ecstatic, because Trump is doing for the United States now, even if it's in some small measure, of what we should be doing right now.
Trump is certainly
But there are
leading the
so
way.
many
Yeah.
obstacles for us.
Here's the thing. Trump is certainly leading the way, but the fact is that Trump is just one man in an elected position. That's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
Right? He
No,
can
of
do
course.
as much as he can, but the only way that things actually get better is if we, the people, get on board and make it stick.
Yep.
Yes.
The common man has far more power than they think they do, particularly in countries with foundations like England's, right? You are your country.
Yes.
You know what's funny is, speaking of Tommy Robinson, is I remember because he came about during the shitlord days in his first kind of iteration, how he's becoming more accepted. For the longest time, any English person, even the ones who were a little more based, were seen there going, well, I don't like his opinion, and he was still considered kind of radical. And now you see them embracing him more, because they're like finally going, wait, all this time we were told he was the bad guy, and he's been sounding the alarm of the stuff we're seeing now, but he saw it, freaking 7 years ago, 8 years ago. He's starting to get like some real support, because people are finally coming to the idea that he wasn't some racist evil man trying. He was just trying to fucking protect his country and his family and everything.
There's been a whole bunch of people that have seen this come in for like 30, 40 years plus. And now here we are. It's here. It's fucking everything up. If we don't do something now, it is the end of Britain.
Yeah.
100%.
And we will not stand for it.
This is something that I think gets overlooked quite a bit, because people don't want to be called like, oh, I'm an Islamophobe, or I hate Arab people, or whatever. It's not the case. The thing is any time a group comes into a new place and they lay down a place of worship, right? It is not just a place of worship. I'm not restricting this to Muslims, because it's not just true of Muslims. Anytime someone builds a place of worship on new ground, they are staking a claim to that ground.
Yeah.
It's theirs now. And they will fight you for it, right? The more mosques get built in traditionally non-Muslim countries, that's what they're doing. They are taking your land from you inch by inch and claiming it as their own. And they will fight for you as if they had always owned it. So y'all got to put a stop to that shit now. And I realize it's already pretty far gone. There's whole towns and shit like that. They're basically, completely Muslimized now at this point. It's, and I would say the same thing about the same thing with churches, for example, like, specifically historically across the expansion of the United States, or when Rome was doing its Holy Roman Empire thing, right? Anytime they built the church, they were staking a claim. They were saying, this is ours. Right.
Yeah.
Synagogues were a little sneakier about it, but
Mhm.
but the principle applies, right? Anytime a group comes in, they bring their religion with them, and that is as good. It's actually better than planting a flag, because a flag you can just pull down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the Temple Mount, right? It's
Mhm.
mentioned one time in the Quran, I guess,
Mhm.
and in the Jewish good book, it's mentioned 37 or something. But yet they went in there one day, took over the Temple Mount, and now you can't pray if you're a Christian or a Jew on a holy space because they've said this is ours.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, the Holy Land is fucking lost cause anyway. You got
Oh yeah, definitely.
so many people fucking fighting over the same stretch of fucking desert that's just soaked in blood and bad vibes. It's like,
Yeah,
all right, y'all can fucking have it.
It's now actually made of more bullet holes than it is of anything holy.
Right. So yeah,
Pointless.
as far as I'm concerned, those particularly three interrelated, even if they don't like to say that they are, groups are always going to be murdering each other over that particular stretch of fucking worthless desert. Whatever, you can do that all you want. I don't care. It's when you take your bullshit to someone else. Like England has been a Christian nation for the better part of 1,200 years, right?
Oh, longer than that, even. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have been thinking, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
And somewhere in that neighborhood. It's been a long fucking time, right? It's ingrained in them now.
We've had a lot of cultural waves.
Sure.
But,
but I mean,
still basically the same.
Yeah, predominantly Christian. Ever since the Romans came in.
Same with the nation's genetics as well, despite what people would tell you.
Yeah. A lot of insular little villages.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it is what it is. And the fact, honestly, I think it's the stigma of politeness that sticks to your people, right? The whole we got to be polite, we got to keep this stiff upper lip all the time kind of thing. I think that's really what's bitten you guys in the ass, because it's gotten to a point where the politeness is paramount, even in the face of self-destruction.
Yeah.
And that only results in self-destruction or destruction from the people you're being polite to, who are not going to be so polite. They will cut you to pieces as they smile at you.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And we've had that. We've literally had that. We've had terrorist attacks where people have been murdered in London, butchered with machetes, and just didn't care. They were just like, yeah, well, I just did this because, kafar. What were you doing here to begin with?
Where's it coming?
Yeah, I just fucking told him to start talking in the chat because he's talking shit to me on Discord.
Oh, fair
little
enough.
Motherfucker. He's a good friend of mine now.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop him from being a complete fucking wanker.
I hate to be that guy, but there was a particular group of Southern gentlemen that might be happy to help out a friend in need for a little land to farm a little cotton on. But they got a couple of flags they want to bring with them. I'm afraid it might upset the locals.
Yeah.
A friend in need's a friend indeed. A friend with weed is better.
You're a terrible singer, dude.
Yeah, I've never claimed to be one. Shut the fuck up.
Why do you keep doing it?
Yeah, that's the question.
Because I want to.
Oh, so we need to abbreviate your First Amendment. Wait, you don't have one. Shut up.
Exactly. This is the only place I get to express anything. Go fuck yourselves.
Oh man,
I'll
Okay.
fucking step outside or get arrested just for existing.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Fuck's sake.
Not funny. That's
Right.
not funny. You are
Well-
correct.
Do I need to adopt you too, Abe?
Please do. I was gonna say I want 3 daddies, but I'll
woman.
take wherever I can get. God damn.
From a woman, Aaron Laura says, women voting and in politics was a bad idea. I think our emotions have led to a lot of these policies that sound nice, but are really detrimental. I think there's a fairly huge and undeniable chunk of truth in that.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
firmly rooted in psychological research as well.
I don't know if I
So-
should say this, but maybe repeal the 19th. That was a bad idea.
Okay, now.
Look, historically speaking, societies do better with men in charge. Hell, even I was listening to I don't know if you guys know who Nuxanor is. He's a
Yeah.
VTuber. He's gotten real political lately and all that stuff. And some of his takes are hilariously entertaining, even if he does somehow manage to always tie things that are totally unrelated back to his being Jewish and Israel and Palestine. But whatever. It's but he talks about how in Judges, right, in the book of Judges, right, which is in the Old Testament, which the Jews do read. It's a series of I think 12 judges who ruled over the Israelites at that time. And each generation, a new judge was
Mhm.
like chosen by God or whatever. And of the 12, only one of them was a woman. Like you're talking 12 generations, right? That's like
Yeah.
fucking several hundred years. You know, and they only ever chose one woman.
So the research that's been done in this field has mostly been around the way that men and women perceive society and the way that they react to it. So
Mhm.
men are generally individualistic. Okay, they look after their own families. They look after their own goals. And then through that is like a fuck you, Stasis. They want kind of a selfish gene expression, right, through society. Whereas women tend to be more caring, more communicative, more social in a way that men aren't generally. But now we have the modern aspect of third wave feminism that somehow has evolved into some bizarre sense of entitlement.
Yeah, that's fourth wave.
No, it's third wave. It started with the third wave.
Which has become the
And
fourth
that, well, if you want to call whatever the fuck's going on right now fourth wave, that's not really an academic term, but sure. But they have sort of met in the middle, and that is why women generally tend to vote for these empathetically suicidal organizations, belief structures, and things like that, and men vote completely the opposite.
I think it's simpler. I think it's simpler than that. Women are evil and they're active.
Well, that's what the research shows.
They fucking want us all to die.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. I'm just fucking with you. And chat, I didn't seriously mean that all women are evil, but some of them are.
Well, you're
Some
going to
of
get
these bitches
fucking
are
clipped for it
fucking
either way,
evil,
bud. So who gives a
Right.
fuck?
right? Some of them fucking are, though. I mean, Hillary Clinton has been trying to seize power in this country for the last 20 fucking years, man. Evil bitch, right?
Yeah.
Huma
Yeah.
Abedin used to work for her, right? Evil bitch. And is, by the way, now married to Alex Soros, the son of George Soros. Also, a couple of evil bitches. I don't care if they got penises. I'm actually not convinced that Alex has one, if I'm being honest. You know?
Yeah. You never know. You never know.
You know, but yeah, no, there are definitely some evil bitches out there. There are evil dudes too. I don't know, but this is one of those things. This keeps coming up again and again, and I know I've talked about this on this show before as well. But the idea that mankind as a species is not fully capable of all the good and evil under the sun without external influence is extremely fucking ludicrous to me.
Yeah.
I keep seeing these people because there's been a revival of like fucking fire and brimstone Christianity in this country in the last couple of years, and like Catholics who want to start the fucking crusades again, which I think is some knee-jerky fucking bullshit that's just going to bite them in the ass. And
It's a little premature.
Yeah, it's a little experiment's only going to end in tears for everybody, but whatever.
Yeah.
And there's constantly people online anyway. Online, I don't see this so much outside, but online, where anytime somebody does something that is objectively evil, right? Oh, that person's a demon. He's possessed by a demon. It's got to be a demon. It's not fucking demons. The evil lies within each of us, right? They're human. And guess what? Sometimes humans are fucking evil as shit, all on their own. All on their own. We can also be magnanimous and extremely, good all on our own too. We live in a constant state of flux and balance. And some people, dedicate themselves to one side or the other, but most of us live in between. And it ain't got shit to do with any outside influence. Also, I find that it kind of negates their whole free will argument altogether. If it's an outside influence causing the evil, right, then it doesn't really matter what you fucking do, right? Because nothing you do has any meaning whatsoever, because you didn't make that choice. You were influenced. Takes all the responsibility and the onus for your actions and your choices off of you and puts it on an external force, right? Which means that free will is meaningless, and I choose not to accept that. So, I'm not saying that I don't think demons are a real thing. I absolutely do. I just don't think they have the influence y'all give them credit for. Off my soapbox. Sorry about that.
Hold on. They don't have the influence until you give them credit for it.
Yeah, but you've already chosen to do the deed at that point, right?
Oh,
it's still on you.
Sasquatch, what you're forgetting is that Sam is as good a philosopher as I'm a singer.
Oh,
no, he's good. He's been around since the dawn of time, sucking life out of everything.
Yeah. I'm just waiting, filling time until all of creation collapses.
Until time kills you.
Right? I was there at the beginning. I'll be there at the end too. And probably after that, being real goddamn bored.
That's when you start up something new.
Yeah.
Like a group of moronic monkeys with free will to run around on some simulation.
Well, so Old Blind is saying you have autonomy, but you can be led astray. I will agree that you can be, like influenced or convinced or talked into things, sure. But that doesn't mean that you don't still have responsibility for those choices. You can't lay that off on something else. Right? Yeah. So it's like somebody whispering in your ear, hey, you should kill your neighbor. You should kill your neighbor. You should kill your neighbor. By the way, YouTube, I'm not serious about this. This is just an example for conversation's sake. And, it's in there and it's worming into your brain, right? You hear it in your sleep. You hear it when you're awake. There's constantly somebody whispering, you should kill your neighbor. You should kill your neighbor. And one day you decide, maybe I really should do this because, it's just in there now. It's a part of your thought process. So you go over, you kill your neighbor, right? That voice did not make you do that. You still chose. That's what I'm getting at. Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes people just choose to do fucked up things.
Yeah.
So that's
because why not?
Well, yeah. So if it is I mean, either we have free will or we don't have free will. If external forces are responsible for the choices that we make, then we don't have free will and nothing we do matters. Right?
No, because I think this is a flip on simulation theory as well, though. Is like, it doesn't really matter whether you've got free will or not. It doesn't matter whether you live in a simulated reality or not. The things that you do seem to be the things that you choose to do, and the things that you do seem to matter to you. That's reality. Whether it's, real in quotation marks, or real with a capital R or whatever, who gives a fuck? Is real to you.
It makes a difference to me. Obviously. It makes a difference to me.
How could it possibly?
Because I draw a distinction between what is real and what seems real, Abe. That's why. Because I can't live with that bullshit. Simulation theory is bullshit, by the way.
Hold on. We were just talking about demons who are metaphysical beings that are completely intangible, versus no proof of them whatsoever.
Versus a metaphysical computer algorithm. I don't see the difference, man.
Then we're talking about, this matters to me.
I'm the you fellers.
Fucking hell, man.
It does. It does matter. I think the distinction does matter. For the same if the distinction doesn't matter, then nothing we do here, nothing we talk about, nothing we say or react upon, nothing actually fucking means anything. And we might as well all just off ourselves. What's the point in fighting for a free fucking England if it doesn't matter, Abe?
Because it matters tomorrow.
This is why you should all tune into my show at 10:30 BST on Tuesday afternoons with my good friend Jack Tarlad, where we talk nothing but bollocks. And the theme tune is all about talking bollocks. Because that's exactly all we do.
Jack's good people too, so is Abe.
All right, you seem to be a bit nihilistic, Abe. Sam, you too, but in a totally different way.
It's probably why we're both green and good friends.
Right?
Here's what I'm getting at. Simulation theory implies there is a programmer.
Mm-hmm.
Demons and angels implies there is a God. You are not arguing anything but semantics.
Yeah.
Stop it.
It's the description of the being doing it, really. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, this to loop it back around to the beginning of the show. This is a conversation, folks. Abe and I can get along just fine and completely fucking disagree about shit like
that.
We yell at each other for a moment, and the next minute we're fucking laughing. Neither one of us is trying to force the other one to rage quit the panel in fucking tears. Debate bros do that.
We could spend 3 hours raging at each other, probably about the same point, trying to prove the same point to each other, and then say, I'm not sure you're right about that, bro.
Yeah.
Got a different perspective.
That might be true, old Blindy, but at least it didn't buck break me, right?
Mm.
I'm a little bit disturbed with how often I've heard the term buck breaking in the past week. It's not the first time. In fact, I don't want to discuss it no more.
I'm pretty sure someone is going around all of these WNBA courts and scooping up all these dildos and then turn them into something else entirely.
Where can I get one?
That's where the butt breaking's coming from.
Too bad they can't turn them into talent for those ladies.
Yeah.
This is so fucked up. People realize how messed up this is. The WNBA gets more views when people throw a dildo on the court. Regardless of what else they do. They could have a straight up murder happen in the middle of the game and it would get less views than people looking for the dildo. They might miss it looking for the dildo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are taking bets on the color.
We
How
thought
many
it-
dildos that are being thrown?
Look, the WNBA should just be grateful people are tuning in at all. I'm just saying.
They
Those
are.
dildos saved that fucking league.
but
They got it.
they believe that the reason people are tuning in is an outrage of what's happening, not to see it happen again. They completely missed the plot.
No,
I'm-
it's.
Do you know what color the number one dildo that has been thrown so far is?
Is it green?
Green.
Here's the
Hell
thing.
yes.
I want them to start getting more creative in how they're getting them on the court, because so far they've just been throwing them. I want to see them fucking start sneaking that shit in. I want them fucking somebody to like hook one to the back of one of the girls' like fucking shirts, right? Like just find better ways to like be creative with it.
You gotta have like it's like most courts, at least. Well, I guess professional courts don't have this, but like some courts do. Well, they'll have like covers that open up with like outlets and shit underneath them, so you can plug shit in the middle for presentations and stuff. And you can just like kind of take that electrical box out of there and sort of just worm a big old double ender right through there.
Yep. Or like the basketball pops, and all of a sudden inside is like 4 of them.
Oh, that'd be fucking insanely intelligent. That would make my goddamn year if that happened. And probably
What
some
if
of those
there's
ladies.
what if there's like dildo themed shoes next season? They're like the latest version of Jordans, but for the WNBA.
Honestly, all they got to do is laugh about it, right? All they got to do is laugh about it. The only reason
Yeah.
people are fucking keep doing it is because they're acting upset about it. You know,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm sure some of them really are, but that's
Yeah.
you're watching internet ecology in real time on a basketball court. You know, it's like
Yeah.
somebody did something that upset them, and it upset them so much. They're like, "Hey, this is funny. We should keep doing this."
Yep. It's like the Streisand effect in a way, right? No one would pay attention till you had a problem with it. Now it becomes a thing. It's the reason that Dermy always said, lean into the skid, you know? Don't go against when people are giving you shit on the internet. Go with it, because they'll actually give it to you less.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing I gotta mention here too is obviously if you don't want sex toys to be part of your fucking brand because you want to be a family, family friendly or whatever, and you want like little girls to be like, oh, I want to grow up to be a WNBA star. I don't know who the fuck would say that, but I'm sure someone does. All you got to do is laugh about it, man. Like don't make it part of your brand, but just be like, okay, that was funny, whatever. That people will forget about it if you're a good sport.
Yeah.
And they'll move on. It's kind of like y'all remember Milana Vaintroop, Lily from AT&T, big old honkers, right?
Oh yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah. You should have led with that.
Yeah.
She started on YouTube, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's got a channel. I forget what it's called. If I find it, Abe, I'll send you the link to one of the funniest fucking
Sweet.
videos I've ever seen in my life. That she did. She did a skit about how to fucking cut up a coconut, and it's bloody and it's hilarious and it's really fucking funny. She could be really funny when she wants to, but you remember like last year or the year before, I forget which. Anyway, she was so upset because people kept focusing on her tits, right? It was kind of her whole brand, like, she had to kind of tape those puppies down in order to get fucking any real attention, because they're enormous and they're gorgeous, whatever. And she was like, oh, I can't believe all these people are sexualizing me all the time. So she goes on, she does this little live stream on her phone, right? To like Instagram or some shit like that. And she goes on there to basically cry about it and complain about it and ask why people are doing this to her and all that stuff. And I kind of get it, but you really should have left it alone, Milana, because the internet isn't going to drop if you should. Like that's like chumming the fucking waters, man. It's a crazy thing to do. And she had people jump into her live chat, hundreds of them, saying shit like back that milk truck up, mommy milkers, like all the things.
I apologized for that. Shut up.
It wasn't just you.
I was bored and I like a nice thick slice of cake too.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? And that's the thing. It's like Smooth saying she does have nice moments. Yes, she does. But the fact that she visibly showed weakness in this sense, that's what made it so much fucking worse. If she had not gone and done that live stream, she'd just been like, okay, whatever, and just kind of stepped away from the whole thing, right? It would have gone away at some point, right? I mean, she's always going to have to, she's never going to get around like not having giant tits.
Right.
Unless she has them physically reduced, which can cause all kinds of other.
Don't even
problems.
say that.
Stop
Jesus.
talking immediately.
Yeah.
But
when they start talking about your big mommy milkers,
that's my point. Even then, they'll know her as the chick who used to have big tits, right? So all she got to do, she didn't even have to lean into it. She just just don't show fucking weakness.
Lean into it.
What was the football teams that they tried to do lingerie football?
The XFL.
The XFL, triple XFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't last very long, unfortunately.
Well, no, I mean, everybody loved the idea of seeing a bunch of women piled up on top of each other, but when they started knocking each other's teeth out and fucking up their face, the guys just lost interest.
Yeah, if I'm going to watch that, I'm going to watch roller derby. Those girls actually have some skill, so.
Right.
So, yeah, it was a fun idea, but it was just like seriously, you put a bunch of women out there with minimal pads because it gets in the way of the boobage, and ask them to beat the shit out of each other on live television over pigskin.
And they do it.
Yeah, they did it.
Let's do some mud wrestling. Damn. Make it happen.
Well, mud wrestling is a thing here in the States. So we have like you can go to any
I know.
pretty much anywhere and you'll find mud wrestling.
It's illegal in Georgia to have cream corn wrestling.
Cream corn wrestling.
Yeah.
Apparently. And now it's illegal.
How about Jello? How about Jello wrestling? Is that good?
I haven't seen litigation on Jello itself, but cream corn was apparently an issue at some point.
I think there was a safety concern though, wasn't it? Because like you end up with like cream corn and crevices, and cream corn is an organic substance.
It's
right?
also most cream corn has sugar added.
Yeah.
So it's like an instant yeast infection.
Yeah. So there were like physical problems with the cream corn wrestling.
But you would figure that there's sugar in Jello unless you make the Jello without the sugar. I guess you could do that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Sugar free.
I mean, I suppose the guy who bought Belle Delphine's bathwater would probably eat that Jello, but I fucking wouldn't.
Oh God, no. No.
So if you don't put any sugar in it, you'd be fine, because otherwise gelatin is just like gelatin. It's just gonna be gelatin until you turn it into something else. So
grody.
Yeah. But mud is good. It's a primordial soup of,
specifically kaolin is the best.
Yeah.
We've got a connoisseur of mud wrestling here.
I must admit, I am something of an expert on mud, clays, and dirt in general. I'm a dirty
for the
dirty
nudie wrestling.
Dirt in general, yeah. Yeah, damn it.
Right. This is why we're failing as a society.
One of the reasons, yeah, definitely.
Because there's not enough.
I think of all of the reasons, this is probably one of the least.
I think if we saw a sharp increase in mud wrestling across, the West, we definitely see a rapid difference. I'm not sure yet if it would be a good thing or a bad thing, but a difference would be had.
Yeah. More, think of it like a gladiatorial battle.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that, honestly, that comes back to, again, the beginning of the fucking show. Now that I think about it, it's like shows like whatever, shows like, The Crucible. It's bread and circuses, man.
Bread and circuses, but we didn't build a coliseum. Instead, we built a phone.
Yeah. That's all it is. That's the only value that it has, is that it provides some momentary distraction for people who haven't got anything fucking better to do.
Yep.
True story.
Actually, that's not true. They have plenty of better things to do, but that takes energy and you'd have to plan for it.
Who wants to do any of that bullshit?
Can't do none of that shit, man. That takes time and
No.
effort.
Fuck
And besides,
that.
there's a dancing duck over here on TikTok.
I mean, it's a dancing duck. You're not going to say no to that. How many times are you going to see a duck dance, man? You know what? That's something else. The internet has kind of cheapened the idea of the novelty, right?
Yeah.
Because now everybody can record it on their fucking pocket devices or whatever and put it out on the internet, and you can watch it anytime you want, as many times as you fucking want. Which, while I can admit sometimes that's hilarious and all that stuff, but remember there was a time when you would be able to say, how many times are you going to see a duck dancing? Right?
Yeah.
And it would be true. You wouldn't know, because you'd be like, well, this might never happen again, so I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. Now on the internet, it's forever, so you can always see it.
Yeah, I think we lost something a little bit there. So, all right, I think this is probably a good place as any to stop the show, huh? Or bring it to a close, as it were. We got to do some yelling today. Had some fun.
I like to yell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
England, you're getting your shit together. Looks like good. Keep it up.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. So, but yeah, all that said, thanks for watching, everybody in the chat. We appreciate you coming by. Abe, what you got coming up?
The next thing I've got is actually Tuesday, with my show, with Jack Tar Lad, the Jack and Abe show. Yes, it's called that for a reason.
Like Jack and Abe.
Jack and Abe. Yeah. That's going to be, I think, 5:30 EST. Then I'll be back for my usual run of the team play Tuesday just before that, and then the Hump Day Chinwag on Wednesday. Yada, yada, yada. I'll be recording some Stargate stuff with the Full Aussie Dudes again on Thursday, probably Friday. And then that is the start of my massive weekend streaming bender all over again from about 1 a.m. on Saturday, my time. So, yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's everything for now.
Sweet. Definitely go check out Jack and Abe show. Like I said, Abe hangs out here with us on 2 different shows on this channel, over on Devil's channel as well. And he's a good dude. Also, Jack Tar Lad, also a great dude. I don't get to talk to him nearly enough, but he's a very cool dude. Also, like some really old retro games that I like, and that gives him some some points from me.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
So, but yeah, check that out. Sasquatch, you've got something coming up here?
Actually, right after this, I am starting up some dramatic breakups footage to try to look at and laugh at everybody involved, because the world is hilarious when people are being evil. I don't have a blast radius tomorrow. His kids are coming into town, and he's going to be busy through the night, so that's not happening. Instead, I'm supposed to be on Vibes channel having some sort of biblical discussion from the perspective of a Southern Baptist, right? So I'm going to try to go over there and do that during, and hopefully I'll be able to stream it. I haven't really talked to him a whole bunch. He just invited me, and we'll see if it shows up and happens and all of that. On Tuesday, we have a completely redrafted Naughty Corner. We're totally starting over from scratch. We've got new intro, well, I haven't done the outro yet, but we should have it before Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time with AJOT.
Indeed. Go check Sasquatch's channel out if you haven't already. He does all kinds of like weird shit with a lot of weird people, and it's a good time.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, man, I really miss those like Odin shorts of yours. Those are fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I should really do some more of that. I was thinking about it. The terms of service have changed again, and so I might be able to do some. I need to look into it a little deeper there.
Yeah. Devil, once again, back on our show. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you have? Where can people find you, and when will we see you again?
What do I got? Monday got Mellow Monday, and then on Wednesday, Make Me a Sandwich on the hub, and then back to the pub on Friday going into Saturday, and right before that, I will should be able to be on Abyssal Musings.
Sweet. Good deal. You remember there was a time when you and I were doing the same shit that Abe was doing, and we both had like 19 shows a week, and we were on like 5 of them together.
Oh yeah, yeah. When you're doing 22 hours behind the freaking mic every week on different streams, 12 different shows. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was good times.
I do that in a day now.
We know. There's a reason we stopped doing that. Because it's exhausting.
It's a little tiring. Yeah, I can acknowledge that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we both have full-time day jobs on top of that shit.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I retired when I was 35, motherfucker. Deal with it.
Yeah, it's not for that. Anyhow, as for me, the next thing you could probably find me on is Exiled Lioness 2. If she's going live tonight, I haven't actually checked yet, but she might be. So, keep an eye out for that. I'll be hanging out over there on Monday. It's the on week for Mellow Mondays. So we're going to go nerd out with Adam, the Renaissance Nerd, on his channel. And next week, we will be getting back into the swing of things with Abyssal Musings right here on Samuel the Infamous, as well as Screaming to the Void shortly after that. You can also find me on Devil's channel when Beelzebub goes live in between those shows. Also, I've been doing game streams lately. Currently playing Mortal Shell, if you're into that sort of thing. We'll see how that one goes, though. I don't know. Not super happy with it so
from
far.
what I've heard, it doesn't seem like you're into it.
I'm not really. It had an interesting premise, but it's not living up to the hype kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We might be picking a new game soon. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But appreciate all y'all being here, hanging out with us and all this stuff. And by the way, there was something that I saw in the chat earlier that I definitely want to address. Where was it? Scrolling up. Aha. Old Blindy said, Sam didn't threaten to shut down the stream unless we send money. He's slipping. I'm not slipping, actually. I told you once. I told you twice. I shouldn't have to tell you a third fucking time, man. The Cash App link is right up at the top of the fucking chat. Anytime you guys want to send things to keep things going, we can keep things going, except today. Today, we're going to shut it down. And you know why we're going to shut it down? We're going to shut it down because you haven't sent any fucking money. How was that? Appreciate that. Thanks, y'all, for being here. Have a great night. Remember, it could always be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras. Bye, everybody.
Bye.